Let's talk more on these and the way forward. Plus, Zamfara State Governor Bello Matawalle, who has called for a state of emergency in the northern part of the country over the security challenges in the region. I'm being joined from our Abuja studio by the former Director of Army Public Relations, Brigadier General Sani Usman. It's a pleasure having you join us tonight. It's good to hear from you, but you know, these sad stories of people being killed, it doesn't gladden the heart at all. It makes one feel very weak. But give us a sense of what you make of the situation. First and foremost, when the governor of the northern region said, for example, that there's a need to declare a state of emergency in the north, not only in one state, talking about the 19th state of the northern region of the country. Is that the way to go?
Well, good evening, and thank you so much for having me on your program. To start with, what happened at the Nigerian Defense Academy is quite regrettable and unfortunate and inexcusable. And when things happen, they do happen. I think what is the most important thing is what is being done to address the issue. Now, coming back to that call for state of emergency in the northern part of the country, we are all living witness to what happened to the previous state of emergencies that were declared and the impact they had on the security system or architecture. I really don't want to join issues, but I think people should stop giving excuses or abdicating their responsibilities, because some of the security challenges have roots to some of the socio-economic issues we have in this country. If you look at it, since 1999, to what extent have we really sincerely committed to a better security in this country? And by security does not mean just necessarily the physical security. How much do we invest in the security architecture? How much do we invest in food security, and so on and so forth? Take, for instance, the local government system is no longer working. And we know that bulk of these problems emanated from the issue of good or bad governance in this country. To what extent have we improved this so that we can have a stopgap, you know, with the local government system? All of the local governments have been emasculated by the state governments. So let's look at it holistically. That is one. Secondly, I'm not an expert in terms of, you know, the Constitution of Nigeria, but I think there are ways that you can, you know, address some of these issues through constructive engagement. But we have had instances where we have this knee-jerk approach to security problems and fire brigade approach, and it should not. Over time, we have, you know, time-tested conflict resolutions mechanism, and you know, we should have been more proactive. Take, for instance, the issue of community policing that was launched 14 or 15 years ago is no longer functioning. What happened to our mobile policemen? Now, I make reference to some of the constitutional provisions, like the police council, in which each of the state governors is also a member. How many times have it met in this country? So these are the issues that we need to address, and those are the kind of things that will give us, you know, respite to some of these security challenges that we're having. Because yes, there is no excuse for criminality, but there are inherent problems within the Nigerian polity that need to be addressed, not this knee-jerk approach. And if you are talking about state of emergency, I know it's just like declaration of war, that a lot of things will just have to give way. You know, you confiscate things and you have to do without certain things. And to what extent will this solve the problem? I think we need to have constructive engagement, you know, dealing with the stakeholders. What I mean by stakeholders, the whole gamut of the stratification of the Nigerian society. To what extent have we bring people on board? Not that you sit down and pass directives. No. Any government policy, any government program should be people-centric. But there are some of them that are antagonistic. And that is why people have this sense of disenchantment, and they take up they take law into their hands. Although they are criminals that you cannot have any excuses, because I, for one, I cannot imagine, kidnapping is a way of, showing your anger about the state of things, or raping women or killing people. No, there are better ways of resolving issues. And to what extent have we been engaging this segment of Nigerian society? If you look at bulk of the people committing all these crimes, they are between the ages of 18, maybe maximum 35, at worst 40. To what extent have we been engaging our youth? What are the opportunities given to them? And to what extent have we given people greater sense of belonging in this country? These are the issues. And it is not just that when things happen, you just, slap the military or the police over, coercive agents. No. The issue of banditry, the issue of terrorism and insurgency, to a large extent, that's kinetic aspect of it is just a meager percent. There is a larger percentage that is supposed to be done, and of course the people that are statutorily responsible for doing that, they know they should be up to their duties and responsibilities. I can rest assure you, bulk of these problems will be over.
When you say those who have the responsibility, who are these people? Are you referring to the political leadership or what?
Well, I talked about statutorily responsible. So if you understand those who are statutorily responsible, you know the people I'm talking about. There are people that are responsible for doing things that they have not done. There are certain people that are supposed to be doing things, but they are not doing it in the right way it should be done. And what happened? This is what is happening in the society. Take, for instance, I just made mention that local government system is not working. Who is responsible for the working of the local government? I know over time, there are, bulk of, constituents of the federation rely on the monthly allocation from the federation account. And every local government is being catered for. But to what extent has that money gone to the particular local government?
So let me quickly take you up on some of these issues. So if we get you right, declaring the state of emergency in the northern region of the country is a no-go area. It will not work from your professional point of view. That is a summary of what you've told us, isn't it?
Yeah, I think there is a better way to go about it: constructive engagement.
Give us an idea of this attack on the NDA. The audacity, that is it for me. That scares me. What lesson can we take away from that? For those attackers, for them to go into that vicinity, as a professional, what do you think was running through their minds? Is it that they saw a porous security situation in the NDA? Or what could have been going wrong? Or what could have gone wrong? Is it a matter of intelligence failure? Or what exactly is the matter? Give us into that, on that.
At the beginning, I made mention of the fact that what happened was quite regrettable and unfortunate and inexcusable too. However, it is also a turning point, pointing to the security challenges we are experiencing in this country. I don't want to, jeopardize the inquiry that is going on, but I can rest assure you, people will be surprised at the end of the day, the circumstances that brought about what happened at the Nigerian Defense Academy. But the good thing is that I think the authorities are now more committed, more resolute, because they have been taking proactive measures and focus on the fact those that have been, the officer that is abducted is rescued safe and hale and hearty. Beyond that, there are measures being taken and lessons have been learned. I can rest assured you such things will not be allowed to happen. And I think, again, I understand the concerns of Nigerians, given the sacredness of the citadel of military training institutions such as the Nigerian Defense Academy, Kaduna, being breached by suspected, unidentified gunmen. or so to speak, or unidentified person, so to speak. So let's give the Commission of Inquiry or Board of Inquiry time, let them do their work. Whoever that has any information should please help so that they can be able to gather the information, needed information to enable them to enhance the security of that area. That being said, but there is need for more synergy, not just necessarily among the security agencies, but the component of the Nigerian society. And if you look at the Nigerian Defense Academy, its position and relationship with the other components of Nigerian society, you will understand what I mean. Therefore, I think this has called for a renewed effort. Thankfully, I think the government has said that they will give all the necessary support, and I know that the military leadership were in the Nigerian Defense Academy and gave all the support that is needed, strategic directions, and I believe they are following it to the letter. I don't want to preempt it, but I can rest assured you, within the next few days or hours, definitely you will see the results of these things. But it has called for, a kind of wake-up call that nobody is immune to the menace of these criminals within the society. The earlier we put all our hands together to fight it, the better. Because a crime that is committed in Kaduna State has corresponding effect in Ebonyi State. So the earlier we collectively as Nigerians fight this criminality, the better for us. And there are so many ways to do it. I have made reference to the fact that there are some components of the Nigerian society that are neglected, and that to a large extent has not helped our information sharing and intelligence gathering. Then, of course, I talked about the issue of good governance. Now, bulk of this, how many in the first place are the bandits? But their relying point is the power of informants, and of course the fact that over time people have more or less kind of lost trust and confidence in the security agencies and the government, so they are inadvertently funding the criminals through payment of ransoms and what have you. People would have had the option of not paying. If they know, definitely the government will be up and doing, will support them. Or the security agencies, they are doing the best they could. But the government need to do more in terms of equipping, in terms of the human resource holding, and in terms of carrying Nigerians along when it comes to security issues. To what extent have we educated our people? To what extent people have this sense of belonging in the society? These are the important key thing that we need to put in place, and we can be able to mitigate the security challenges. But I can rest assured you, this is a turning point. Things will not be the same, and I can also rest assured whoever has hand in that, definitely the security agencies will find him or her out, and they will face the full wrath of the law. And I want to assure Nigerians too, having talked with the various, the hierarchy of the Nigerian security and the military, they are given assurance that people should not despair. People should, be more understanding. It has happened, it's regrettable, there is no excuse for it, but I can rest assure you, they will not allow this kind of breaches to occur, not just to NDA, but other places. And it's a wake-up call for all the components of the Nigerian society, particularly those statutorily responsible for the welfare and security of Nigerians, to be up and doing, to see to what extent they can re-strategize and support the security agencies, carry the people along, give them more sense of belonging, address the youth restiveness, so that we can have semblance of peace in this country.
Quickly, before we close the program, there has been reference to the fact that the government said they've arrested some of these Boko Haram elements, and that some of the sponsors are being known. The government has said they will list out the names of the terror funders, those who are funding terror in the country, and invariably perhaps there are information on those who are instigating this terror and violence in the country. That on one hand. The governor of Kaduna State mentioned recently that anyone in the forest should not be there. Anyone in the forest is a criminal, and that they should bomb the forest as a way of clearing out the elements that are perpetrating this evil. If you can quickly link that also to the repentant Boko Haram members who have come, over 1,000 or so of them, should we be happy? And I'm asking you to give some kind of solution, maybe in 60 seconds before we close the program. Those who are skeptical about the repentant Boko Haram members, but the government says don't be, because we need to win this war. What are your views quickly on that?
Unfortunately, when you are talking, I lost part of what you were saying. However, with the last part that you're saying, the issue of repentant Boko Haram, I think there is a communication gap, somewhere. Otherwise, it is not the way that is being bandied around. The issue of the surrendering of the Boko Haram, it is not something that is just happening overnight. It's a product of maybe some years' effort. The psychological operations embarked by the military, dropping flyers, reaching out, trying as much as possible to tell them that, look, there is life, beyond this insurgency that you are doing. And of course, the media and some of the NGOs did not even help matters at the onset, because they have painted a terrible picture of the Nigerian security forces, that those that were coerced into Boko Haram insurgency or terrorism were afraid to, leave and come. But now there is a semblance of hope. And now we cannot continue to have these killings and wanton destructions. Some of them that were coerced into it, they have decided to throw in the gauntlet and come out. And of course, it is as a result of some of the effort. And by the way, any Boko Haram that is arrested, he or she goes through the Joint Intelligence Committee, in which they categorize them into 3 categories. The first categories are those people that are not found culpable. Even when I was in the army, some of them were handed over to the communities. They have been integrated into society. I could remember way back, either 2016 or 2017, when I was Director of Army Public Relations, we had similar ceremony in Memalari Cantonment. They were integrated. There are those, again, that have some semblance of responsibility that were taken to Operation Safe Corridor. But those, the category 3, that are really top Boko Haram functionaries, are taken to Kainji, and they are being, tried in accordance with the laws of the land. So people should understand that. But we cannot continue to have that. There are some of them that have been coerced, but we should come out with a modality so that these guys could be, de-radicalized, then integrated into the society.
General,
but we need to, have the buy-in of the people too.
Brigadier General Sani Usman, former Director of Army Public Relations, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure getting to gain from your knowledge and your wealth of experience. Thank you indeed for your time tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me on your program.
Well, and that's our show for today, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Kimale. Bye for now.